All right, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Read the Room with my good friend Matt, player 098 on the Squid Game season 2. Say hi, Matt.
Hello, everybody. How are you? Is everything
I'm
everything
so
doing
excited.
good?
I'm so excited for you to be here. Thank you for doing this for me.
You're welcome. Anytime, of course.
I know you're not in your green tracksuit, but
I
you
know it's a
know.
shame. Shame
So,
I couldn't be the last one in it.
okay. So I have to ask you, what made you choose Squid Games out of all the shows?
So I was sitting at work one day and I heard coworkers talking about something called Squid Games, and I didn't know nothing about it. And it sounded intriguing. They were talking about like this red light, green light game, a game that we played as kids,
Yeah.
and but people getting shot and killed. So I put on Netflix and I started watching it.
Yeah, right. That
And
would have freaked me out.
it was, I think it was in Chinese, and I was reading the subtitles, and it started interesting me. It sounded a lot, very interesting. And they were playing for money, but they were dying. There was only going to be one survivor. And at the end of watching it and feeling like I was captivated about what I just saw, it said, "Do you want to apply?" And I was like, "What am I going to apply for?"
Huh.
And there was a challenge,
Yeah.
and for $4.56 million. People weren't going to die, but the last man standing was going to win a life changing amount of money. So why not? For that type of money, why not give it a chance?
Yeah, I mean, I think anybody would. Yeah, I saw at the end of season 2, it said where you could sign up, but how'd you prepare for it mentally, physically? Like, were you just winging it?
So when you apply for stuff like that, and it's like 100 to 200,000 applicants,
Oh my
and
God.
that's a lot of people. So you don't really think that you have a shot of being seen on your audition or even getting a call back. So
Yeah.
when you apply for stuff like this, you don't think it's going to go anywhere. So when you do get a call, it's like, oh my God, what am I going to say now? They're really interested in
Yeah,
me.
right. They really picked
And
me.
yeah, and it's like, who am I anyways? And you have to dig deep about, saying to yourself that, look, you really have an opportunity now and a chance. But after you get selected, you don't even think you're going to be able to make it far in the
Yeah,
game.
right.
So preparing mentally and physically for me is not something I do. Just one of those people that I go with the flow, and
Yeah.
whatever's meant to be, the man above me is going to either going to let happen or not let happen.
Amen, right? I mean, it was scary. I mean, walking in, I saw all those people on the show. I mean, a little intense, no?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure even someone like you, a viewer, could probably picture yourself applying and maybe
I
one day
was
going
thinking
on.
about it.
You
I was
know,
thinking about it, but
why not?
I don't know. One, because I can't, I have a hard time catching a ball. When I
Oh,
saw
that's
that,
everything.
yeah,
Well,
I know.
I don't know about that because we grew up to playing around softball all the
I know,
time.
but see,
So
I'm the most unathletic person in my family, so it might be a little hard for me. I might be just be the cheerleader on the side, and I was rooting
okay,
for you.
thank you.
So, I have all these questions for you, and I don't want to keep you too long, but my whole podcast is about energy, right? And if you watched a little bit of it, it's really kind of just reading people, and you kind of had to do that in the game, right? To
Yeah,
make your alliances. I saw.
absolutely. Yeah. So you got to be very strategic when you go into a game like this, and I have a natural ability to be able to read people very well. I know when they're lying, when they're telling the truth,
Oh
by
God.
eye contact, if they're swallowing, checking their pulse. Um, but when you go on a game like that and you're with 455 people from around the world, you want to get to know them. So kind of the energy changes. You kind of have a mindset on
Well, luckily you can read it, but other people
exactly.
can't read people's energy, like,
That's
you
right.
know?
And you kind of want to push that to the side when you get there because these are genuine people and they all have very unique stories and why they're there and why they deserve the money just as much as I do.
Yeah, I mean, it's very nerve-wracking, but I mean, you did great, obviously. I saw I was watching when you were up there and they had to do the vote, and
Yeah,
you picked the
nervous.
twin. I was like, that was good strategy.
So you're nervous for you, but could you imagine what it was like for me?
Oh
I
my
didn't
God, I
want,
know.
I didn't want to be put in that situation, and unfortunately, I got put in that situation. And when you get put in a situation that may make you uncomfortable, you have to start to
You have to breathe.
hypothesize all the things that are going to be important to get you through it.
Yeah. So was there someone whose vibe you trusted immediately? Was there like a player on the game that you instantly connected with? I mean, I know you had a lot of connections with some people, but like, is there one particular that stands
Yeah,
out?
so when you get to the games, before you go to a hotel and you kind of like decompress where they take everything from you. You have to stay silent and you're
Oh,
already it's kind of like you're already playing the
like,
games, but you're with a bunch of people. So
oh,
we're all broken into different groups and different colors. And the group that I was with, fortunately for me, a couple of them were from New York.
oh, good.
One was a firefighter, and you start to form an alliance right off the bat.
Oh,
And
good.
you start to say, all right, we're going to stick with one another and try to get through the games together. So,
And I'm sure that made you feel comfortable being that you're from New York. You had fellow New Yorkers with you, right?
yeah,
Like I would be like, yeah, thank God, you know?
yeah,
It's crazy. I can't even believe it. And everyone, Matt lives a couple blocks away from you. You still close by,
yeah. I'm still in Bergen Beach. Yeah,
nice.
and I'm sure you're not too far as well.
Oh, no, no, no. But, what was the moment that you realized that you needed to analyze people if you wanted to survive? Like, how did you
So,
really think you
so
needed these
the moment I,
alliances?
so the moment I felt like I needed to start to analyze people is when I started to get betrayed in the game of catch, and the twin knew the play, he knew the game plan, he put himself in the front with his brother, and then I don't know if the nerves got the best of him, but all of
Yes.
a sudden, as he's walking away, he's saying to me, he's not going to throw me the ball, and that he has somebody a lot closer, and I'm like, dude, 4 feet away, my own daughter can make a throw like this. So either two things: you're either insulting me that you don't think I'm going to catch it,
Yeah.
or you can't make that type of throw. So at that point, you start to analyze that you really have to
Who's
take
the
heed to
weakness? Yeah.
certain people's personalities and know how you're going to handle it if they do try to betray you.
And there's the instance that like starts to kick in, huh? Yeah,
Yeah.
because I honestly, it's so funny that you just said that. I didn't think about it that way. Like, why didn't he, throw
Yeah,
you?
so
Like,
yeah,
it makes
so I
sense.
just you get nervous, you're in a moment, and the cameras are not on you, they're just around everywhere.
Okay.
Okay. So even though they're there and they're not on you where you're feeling the nerves, but you start to panic and start to worry about you getting kicked off the show, and you start doing things that you shouldn't have normally did, especially if you make a promise.
Yeah, actually. And you know what? You've called him out on it. So,
Yeah,
and then
a lot
look,
of people wouldn't have done that. I don't know if you saw season one.
yeah.
Trey in season one was on the glass bridge,
Mhm.
and somebody betrayed him, and he didn't say nothing. But me, I'm not that type of person. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah. And honestly, it kind of worked out in your favor. And then when everybody kept catching the ball, I loved that. I actually
Yeah.
got goosebumps in that moment because I was
So
like, see?
it did, and it didn't because it worked out for me in that moment. But then it made
Yeah.
everybody see I was a threat and that I had a mouth and that I was a
Oh,
strong
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. I know. I mean, I did see that, but hello, you know what? Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah, because it's about survival, right? And if he would have betrayed me, maybe I wouldn't have survived.
And you also showed him that you can survive. So, could have went both ways. But what was the craziest game? Was that the craziest game that you played?
What do you think the craziest game was? Do you remember some of the games?
Well, the game where I saw the ball, I did, when you guys had the marbles? I don't think
Yeah.
that was the
What
craziest.
what about the one right before that? Do you remember what we did before that?
No, refresh my
Mingle,
memory.
mingle, round and
Oh
circle.
my God, we had to run into the rooms.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah,
Yeah, honestly, this show gave me anxiety a little bit for
yeah. So I
everybody.
mean, it's nothing like seeing it on TV. We actually had to. They like 5 rounds into it. They wanted to stop and give us lunch, and we didn't want it, but we had to have it. And we did about 8 rounds of that, and there was a lot of like hands on that they just didn't show. And
I
yeah,
like when you guys, all stood together, and you
yeah,
were actually
yeah,
one person who was
yeah,
outspoken.
yeah,
Let's not play anymore. Let's not play anymore. But then it
yeah.
ended up,
It worked in
you
our
know.
favor. It worked in our favor because it was becoming too much. Anxiety was kicking in for a lot of people, and how much is enough? When could we just say we had enough? So luckily, together we formed a chain
I saw,
because
yeah, that was
if we
cool.
didn't, and one or two people decided to break it, maybe we wouldn't have been so unified. So thank God that we called it quits and we got to move on.
Oh my God. I feel like mentally that had to be harder than physically, because,
Yeah, it was
people at the
definitely.
door and I'm like, how can you not let them in? It was like,
That's when you really start to figure out who do you trust, who can you rely on, who's going to betray you. So luckily for me, being fast, I just ran to a back of the room
oh
and I
my God.
stayed
Yeah, I
there.
saw.
And if we had enough people, then I was good to go.
And it's another thing.
So,
I feel like you should have been a leader, you know,
yeah,
because
and it's about gameplay because you don't want to be a leader too much
I
because
know.
then people are going to be like, "Oh, this guy's a showboat, and we don't need him around." So you have to kind of be quiet, but be exactly true to who you are.
I know, and actually, it's kind of funny. I feel like a lot of people in the show look to you, like even though if they thought
Yep,
like, oh, he had a big mouth or whatever, he said this, but they kind of look to you in the middle of the games to see like what you thought they should
yep.
do, and they like fell for you. So it's kind of like I just honestly, everybody, I had my money on you.
I had a breakout moment that was off the TV screen. We were filming, and filming happens for about 12 hours a day. They don't tell you the time, so you don't know what time it is. You don't really
Oh
get to go
wow,
outside unless it's like every 2 days. So we were filming along for a lot of hours in a white room, and all of a sudden we weren't allowed to have any comfort breaks, which is a bathroom break. And in the front of the room, a guard, one of the guards in
yeah,
the red suits, he started to sway back and forth, and I took notice
notice,
that it didn't look like it was a good situation for him, and you could see people getting nervous, and he raised his hands, and I got up and I ran from the back of the room,
yeah.
and I ran to the front, and I jumped, I left my feet, and I caught him before he fell. He actually passed out in
Oh
the
my
air,
god,
and I caught him before he hit his head, and a few of us did that. A few of us helped him out. But when I turned around, all the players, they were like clapping, but they were like, "Good job, 98." And it was at that moment I realized they knew who I was, and
yeah,
it's not such a good thing. I mean,
yeah.
even though what I did was a noble thing, it's you don't really want people to know your number because you want to lay low. So it was good and it
Wow.
wasn't good. So it was tough.
That's actually kind of crazy. I mean, how often? I mean, I saw that they gave you meals and stuff, and you were like kind of like grossed out by it. How often did you guys get to eat?
Yeah, we
Like,
did
I mean,
three
you're
times.
doing all these activities.
3 times a day. They didn't give you much calories and carbs, just enough to get
Yeah,
you
I saw.
by. I couldn't stand the porridge. I have ulcerative colitis, so I need to eat good.
Yeah.
And I really didn't enjoy the food. There were times I was like, I'm gonna either give up or take a risk, and hopefully get some type of treat.
Oh my God. I mean, I guess you don't really know. Like, I mean, the cameras show one thing, and like behind the scenes is another thing. Which brings me to like, was there anything that you know, bringing it back to like the players and the drama? Is there anything that they didn't show, like where people's energy just what didn't match? Like,
There was a lot of times a lot of people weren't getting along with certain individuals. Sometimes with TV they give you an edit that you weren't even expecting. So you could be thinking that you're coming out a good guy, but then you get this villain type edit. So every little thing they're picking up because 24/7 you have a microphone on and
yeah.
you have cameras around you. So if they pick up one negative thing, they may turn your character around
So,
into
do you think they
something.
portrayed you to be the villain?
As you as a viewer, what do you think about my character as an edit?
I kind of
What do
feel
you
like you
think?
were misunderstood. I don't know if I
Yeah.
would say villain. I mean,
Yes.
villain's a little much, but I mean,
Yep.
I
Everybody
think
said,
that, yeah, that's, I would just say that. I feel like you were
yeah,
misunderstood.
yes. A lot of people had it said I was a complex character. I never talk bad about one single player because if I'm going to win this money, I need God on my side. If I do
Yeah.
something wrong to somebody, like lie about a birthday or having a baby, which I'm sure
Oh
you
my God,
saw,
yes, I saw
yes.
that. And he admitted
So,
it towards in the marble game, in the
yes.
marble
Yep.
thing. He was like, I would have
Well, I
like,
sang him happy birthday thinking it was his birthday. I sang him happy birthday. So you want to stay in God's good graces. So
yeah.
that's what I
I,
try to do.
I mean, and I saw in an interview, and I have to ask this. My sister-in-law, my sister would, get mad at me if I didn't. Did you really deliver your own baby? Your own, what was it, your
Yeah,
son
yeah.
or your
Wait,
daughter?
me, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law. Uh, the night before I woke up, I had a dream that she was gonna have the baby,
Oh
and I
God.
told her I'll probably stay home, and she says, "No, no, I'm good. I'm not gonna have the baby." So I went to work, and I got a call that her water broke and that she was going to the hospital, and so I said, "All right, I'm leaving work. I'm gonna meet you at the hospital." So then I get another call. The trainee told her that she's 6 centimeters and she's ready to go, but the chief resident said that she wasn't ready and that they gave her 2 aspirins and told her, "Don't walk around. You just got to go home. You're not ready to have the baby." So all of a sudden, I'm told to reroute from the hospital and go to the house.
Oh
And
my
by the
God.
time I get there, the head popped out, and sure enough, he was
God,
he
that's
pretty
sick in
much
your own
delivered
house.
himself.
Oh
Pretty
my
much
God.
delivered himself.
All right, so you
Really
heard
did.
it, Nicole, Lauren. He really did it. He delivered his own baby. All right.
And that's not the only time I delivered. Yeah, being an EMT, I delivered babies before.
Oh my God, but your own is kind of like you don't hear too
Yeah,
many people delivering their own child in their own
nope,
home.
that's for
I'm
sure.
sorry.
So,
That's a little much for me.
yeah. And the hospital sent me an $8,000 bill for the delivery.
Isn't that nice?
Meanwhile,
Hey, I did it myself. You should have sent
yeah,
me eight thousand
yeah,
dollars.
no, exactly.
All right, well, let's get into like your personal growth. I mean, I want to know what this show did to you. I'm curious as a
Mhm.
person. Like,
Uh-huh. So
being on the
look,
show.
I'm a firm believer that I've always had a special calling and that I had a unique ability to light up a room.
Yeah,
Okay, and
they say that about
it's
me
just
too.
a matter of yes, that's right. You got to dig deep. Sometimes it's there. You just got to find the avenues
Yeah,
like this podcast.
yeah, I'm
And
trying.
I finally said to myself, a lot of people always say I miss my calling, but I'm a true believer that your calling doesn't call until it calls. And my calling came for me with Squid Games. And today, I feel a lot more free about who I am as an individual. I look forward to what else is in store. I'm recognizable to a lot of people whenever I
Yeah.
go someplace. But I look at it as a way to have a platform. I have ulcerative colitis, so I want to spread awareness about that disease and helping
Oh,
finding a
nice.
cure. And
Oh,
I
awesome. That's
I
beautiful.
really want to get back on a game show and win money and change the life of my family's family to for
Yeah.
generations to come.
You're definitely athletic. I could definitely see you being on like another show like this, but something similar. And that's great, like about, spreading awareness. That's awesome. I mean, was there a moment also though on the show that you thought like I was gonna quit? Like you were done. Like
Yes.
I can't
Yep.
do this anymore. And what made you stay?
So I woke up the day that I actually went home. I had a dream that my luggage was packed.
Oh my God.
I really didn't want to stay anymore. I lost 12 pounds, and I felt like I had enough. And
Yeah.
I was like, if I don't get eliminated, I think I'm just gonna leave because I was literally
Really? Oh
when
my
you're
God.
just so defeated and you have no energy, no
I
food.
know. Because it is
So
mentally, and physically, and if you're not, and especially with your health
yep,
condition, and you're not
yep.
eating the right things, and you couldn't tell them that before you did the
Yeah,
games.
they had
Okay.
dietary restrictions, but they're not giving me gourmet meals or
Yeah,
chicken
I
or
mean, they're not gonna. I
so
get what you're saying,
yeah,
but I
they
mean,
gave
instead
me
of
just
porridge, could
enough.
you do a yogurt?
Yep, and I knew everything that I was going to be involved in when I went there, and I knew I was going to be immersified, and it was like a prison. But the I felt like giving up, but that's the day I went home. So luckily, I didn't have to give up.
So you would say that your life changed a little bit from this,
My life is going to continue to change. Your life's going to change on
no matter what. Yeah.
accordingly to what you are going to make of it. Okay, I had an experience that not many people get to have.
Yeah,
I
I'm
went
like,
across country to London, and I met 455 amazing people from Dubai, from Japan, from all around the world, and that right there alone changed my life. And I'm going to use this as a way to better my life and other people's lives around me. So
yeah. I
I'm
mean,
grateful.
you should be proud of yourself. I mean, I'm proud of you. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to know you, and I was, I'm
Yeah,
telling
you're
you, you
rooting for
can't
me.
even tell you how many people I know who are joining now because a local guy, neighborhood guy,
Yeah.
doing it. I don't know if
Look, I want to make my neighborhood proud. I want my family, and
yeah,
I came close. When I left, there was 18 people left, 200,000 applicants, 455 other players, and I
yeah.
was and when I left, there was 18 players left. So that's an accomplishment.
Yeah, you definitely. I mean, crazy. So would you go back to Squid Games? I mean, I know you said you want to do other game shows, but would you do Squid Games again, or would you just kind of let it just be? This is
I wouldn't want to do it, but I believe that the greatest gift one individual can give another is opportunity. And if
yeah.
someone gives me the opportunity to do it again, I just can't say no.
So would you do what Trinity did towards the end?
I mean, look,
I
I'm there for
couldn't.
my I'm there for my family.
I couldn't.
I
That was
mean,
like the most humble. I mean, a little too
I
humble.
know. Look, you can't question his faith and his belief in his Lord and Savior. But for me, if I went that far, now one guy was a millionaire. Had he known that,
Oh,
you think he would have did it? I mean, he didn't know it at the time.
oh,
But
he
I
annoyed
mean,
me. That player. I wrote down his number now. I can't even think of it now.
yeah,
What was his
yeah.
name?
183, Steve.
Yeah, 183. Oh God, he was like the sneakiest player, and I was every episode I wanted him to go home. I know that's just how I feel
I know.
about it.
Yeah. I know, I
Whatever.
know, I know. Look, you have a right to feel that way. There's a lot of people there that have nothing and they want to win. And when you have someone that already has that much money, people get upset.
Yeah. So you do think there's like what is the biggest misconception you think viewers have about the Squid Game, the challenge? Do you think
Yeah, so
anybody?
so the misconception is not to have any, right? When you go on a show like
Yeah.
this, you cannot question what's right and what's going to be wrong. You are a good person deep inside, and that's why you're getting
Yeah.
selected to go. And you have to empty out your brain, right? And just stay focused to what the goal is in mind, which is making it to the end. So you have to put all those misconceptions behind you and just play the game and stay true to who you are.
Yeah, and I think you did that. I mean, I know you did that.
I was an honest person. I never talked
Yeah.
bad about anybody. I didn't lie about having birthdays, and
Can't
I try to stay
even.
true to me.
I still can't. This cracks me up that
Yeah, no.
somebody had to sing happy birthday. But what did you
So
think that was going to get him on that show?
he just thought it was going to buy him. It was going to help people not vote him off during some tests because they were going to feel bad for him.
Oh my
So,
God.
but he's a good
So,
guy.
yeah, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do to win. But, I didn't even know that the red light, green light was the last
Yep.
game that you played. It's sick.
Yeah, the last game that they played was really green light. It might have been the first game, but there was a lot of flooding conditions, and there's a lot of people that felt like it was going to be the first game, but weather made it change. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's true or not, but if I would have made it that far, I would have did amazing in red light, green light.
So if you could go back, I know I want to, if you could go back and redo any moment on this show, would you? Or you
Yes.
would just still,
No, the only thing I would change, the only because I would definitely still open my mouth, but the only thing I would change is I would not put myself next to the twins during catch
yeah.
because when I open my mouth, and I know you weren't there to see it, but when I opened my mouth, that's when the flies started to buzz on the walls, about who I was and that I'm a strong player and I have a mouth and
Do
I
you
was
think that
loud.
moment kind of like
Yep, of course, 100%.
that very moment
But it,
made
but
you,
but they knew exactly who they were casting when they got me, and
yeah.
I'm real authentic, and I'm not gonna change who I am as a person.
No, absolutely not. So if you would redo that one, you wouldn't even let him throw you the ball
I would not put myself next to him to
next to
have to
him.
worry about him throwing me the ball. Yeah,
I
that's
think
that.
karma kind of got the players that
Yep, Karma got
you see
it
that
caved in.
transpire.
Yep, it's it sucks because you really wanted to win, and I know I had the ability to do so, but if it didn't happen here, it's gonna happen someplace else, and we're
Yeah.
gonna be having an interview again down the line when I when I go on another game show.
Okay, good. I'm
That's
so
something.
excited. At least I got you for life now.
Yeah, met you,
Um,
good friend.
so we always end the episode because really this is just I wanted to just get you on here and just ask you some questions about it. I kind of feel popular that I know you. And a life lesson about reading the room. So it's reading people, right? So what's the best advice about reading people that you think you could give some of the viewers that I have?
Yeah, so I would say this, right? Not everybody's going to be authentic. Not everybody's going to be honest. You have to walk into a room and be able to decipher the difference between one and the other, right?
Mm.
Always start to talk to someone as if they're being totally honest with you. But once they give you that little bit of a piece of a lie, in the back of your mind, you don't have to say it out loud, but keep in the back of your mind that if he's dishonest about this much, he could be dishonest about this much. So always have an open mind about someone being honest and whether they're not being honest. But when you are talking to people, try to give them the benefit of the doubt and know that have a feeling that they're telling you the truth.
So
That's
I
really
know your
important.
job. I mean, you mentioned on the show, not that I'm bringing it up or anything, but you already knew. Do you think this show helped? You already read people. Like you said, somebody swallowing their throat, their body language. Do you think this show helped you, or do you read human behavior a little different through this experience, or you were able to take your experience into this?
Yep. I brought my experience into that game, and I think I taught 455 other players maybe how to read people a little bit more better.
Yeah,
I have a natural gift for doing it.
I know it makes me
But
nervous now. I'm like,
yeah, no, you're doing fine. I could tell you're being exactly who you are.
yeah,
You always have been. There's
thank
nothing
you.
for you to be dishonest. You said you like my style of play. You were honest about
Yeah, I
how I
did.
was misunderstood, and that's what a lot of people
Yeah.
said to me and have said to me. So look, that's the advice I can give to people is just be authentic and don't always think that everybody's telling the truth, but go into it as if they really are.
Yeah, and I wanted, thank you so much, for being here and being honest. Like I said, you've always been true to who you are, at least since I know you about your experience. And I mean, I feel like I just have now I feel so much better.
Yeah, yeah. Look, when you go onto these things, you could write down 100 questions, right?
Yeah.
But you don't have to look at the paper once because when there's chemistry between people
Yeah.
like me and you, the
Yeah.
conversation's gonna
Because
flow.
I'm like,
And I,
I
and
just
I,
want to throw it away.
yeah, yeah. And I'm telling all the spectators, all the viewers
Yeah.
listening,
Yeah.
Kristen's a pro at what she's doing. You don't need to
Thank
look
you.
down at the
Thank
paper.
you.
You just have a conversation that's gonna flow, and you'll know exactly what question comes after the next. And
Yeah.
that's just pretty much how it goes. This is reading the room. And this is
Yeah. And
whatever. Yeah,
no, go ahead. I like it
yeah,
because,
yeah.
reading the room is also implied in your experience,
That's right.
reading
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
And I wanted to read the room, and that's what I'm saying, because people have a hard time doing that.
That's right.
And I
And
feel like it's used in different situations.
And I suggest when you say read in the room, I'm going to encourage you that when you do more of these podcasts, have more than one person on. You
Yeah.
want to have like different opinions
Yeah.
and
No, 100%. Honestly, it's just like
yeah,
my little baby. I'm trying to grow.
yep,
And that's why I'm glad that I have you on because, your
yep,
feedback, your opinion means a lot to me.
that's right. Yep,
And yeah, so
yep,
I
yep.
appreciate it. So I hope
Yeah,
everybody got to see who you really are. I mean, everybody, I'm sure I've seen you. I didn't watch any other podcasts because I wanted to do it on my own.
you were on your own. You
No,
didn't
I didn't want to ask the
your
same
own
questions I
flow.
would see what that people were
Yeah,
asking you. I'm like, no, I'm
yep.
just gonna wing it.
Look, look. You start from the bottom, you work your way up, right?
Yes.
And if I could help you be a part of something special
Yes.
that's special to you, then just keep going with it, empower yourself, and I congratulate you.
Thank you very much. So whoever is listening, when I post it, go watch the show, right? Check you
That's right.
out.
Yep. Watch
Squid
Squid
Game, the
Games: The
challenge
Challenge
season
season
2.
2. If you want to look for me, I answer anybody that writes me questions at Matt Matt_Lewis Louis 10 on Instagram. And if I don't answer you, reach out to her and I'll answer her, whatever
Yes,
it
and I
is.
will definitely put your IG on it. Thank you so much,
Yep.
Matt, for doing this with me. You're the
Yep.
best. And I'll
Absolutely.
talk to you soon. Good
That's
luck with
right. Have a good
everything.
one. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.